Yo, what it do, YouTube? It is your boy, Culture Shock. We are back with another video, and it is a tremendous day because we destroyed the Buffalo Bills 41-15. Our playoff chances are even better with these stakes, with the situation that we're in right now. The fact that we beat them, and it was very bad, and I think we did better than the Jaguars when they beat them overall. But overall, it was a great game. We got a lot to take away, but I couldn't do it alone. I got my guy Lucas with me. How are you doing tonight?
You know what? I am feeling great. This was a phenomenal win. We got a lot to talk about on this one because it was just pure domination against a top 5 team in the NFL, which surprised a lot of people, including myself. But I ain't mad about it at all.
Me neither, man. They were ranked the number 1 defense, but they didn't look number 1 against this team because we did what we had to do, and we did what we were supposed to do, which was run the freaking football. We'll get into that later, but we're going to start off by just talking about the quarterback play at the beginning. Carson Wentz, he had that big run. He had a few good moments. He had a few bad moments as well, but overall, he went 11 for 20, 106 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, no sacks as well, which is pretty big deal because our offensive line has been getting better, as you guys can tell. Now, of course, Quentin Nelson's still banged up. I get your thoughts on that as well, but overall quarterback play, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, no sacks either. QBR is 72, and his rating was at 86.7. What was your thoughts about the quarterback performance?
Well, here's the thing. Carson Wentz was not great this game, but he was pretty good. He wasn't losing the game for the Colts. If anything, he had a few bad throws here or there at times, which, no one is perfect on this. But he was doing a pretty damn good job at escaping the pressure, throwing the ball away if there was too much pressure on him, or just escaping, like you said, in that amazing run. He ducked underneath Mario Addison, who had a cheap shot earlier on him. He got a little bit of revenge, going underneath him and then running for like about 20 yards for a first down. Absolutely phenomenal play by him. He got the ball to where he needed to go, which was Jonathan Taylor, occasionally Michael Pittman Jr. here or there. But the game wasn't really about Carson Wentz,
Yeah, man, I agree. Speaking of Jonathan Taylor, I'm repping his jersey right now, but we're going to go ahead and talk about the guy who now needs to be in the MVP discussion after their performance. He has eclipsed Derrick Henry. He is now the best running back in the NFL right now, yards-wise, touchdowns-wise, you name it. The guy is a flat-out stud, and he did not disappoint today. 32 carries, 185 yards, and 4 touchdowns rushing. This was rushing. He did all this running the football, and this just goes to say that when you run the football through Jonathan Taylor, no matter how stagnant the offense may get, it's going to be nothing but positivity coming out of this, man. This dude averages pretty much 6 yards a carry at this point. The dude's a flat-out stud. Let me get your thoughts about Jonathan Taylor's performance.
Well, Jonathan Taylor is an absolute superhero, according to Mo Alley Cox in the end zone. He is phenomenal. He had 204 yards total, had 35 touches total, and he had 5 total touchdowns. That is insane. He is right now doing stuff that we have never really seen before for a Colts running back. And that is some pretty special company to be in because the Colts running back history has several Hall of Famers. I mean, we're talking back in the day, there was Lenny Moore in the Baltimore Colts. Lydell Mitchell had some damn good years as well for the Baltimore Colts. Then in the Super Bowl era, we've had Marshall Faulk. We've had Eric Dickerson. We've had Edgerrin James. And even they have never scored 5 total touchdowns in a single game. None of them have gotten this amount of yards with that amount of touchdowns. He has been absolutely lights out. And right now, he is on pace to break Edgerrin James's 2000 season total yards from scrimmage record if it was a 16-game season. He doesn't even need the extra game to beat the record at this point. He is going insane. He has 15 touchdowns total this season. That is tied 4th all-time amongst Colts running backs. He needs just 6 to pass Lydell Mitchell, and I think damn well he is going to break that 57-year record for the Colts. He has been an absolute monster, beast mode throughout. And I can't stop talking nothing but positives for Jonathan Taylor. Just phenomenal running back.
Yeah, man, the dude is phenomenal. Other notable runners in this game was Naheem Hines. He averaged 7 yards and pretty much 8 yards per carry when he was getting the football, which is a huge bonus. Even though we really didn't need him, but when we did get the ball, he did produce. So that's a good sign. 4 carries, 31 yards. Carson Wentz, of course. Deion Jackson seen some snaps at the end of the game. 6 carry, 12 yards. Who's also a dog if he gets involved in the game. He's pretty much a beast. And Zach Pascal was a guy that I was saying was going to get involved in the fourth quarter. I don't know how they were going to do it, but they wound up doing it. He ran the football for 1 carry and 9 yards, but the game plan overall in general was phenomenal. No matter if it didn't connect or not, the game plan drawn up on the offensive side is what the Colts fans dreamed of, really, because this is one of the biggest games of the season, and we needed the offense to click. And that was a huge question going into this game is how's the offense going to perform? And I also stated before the game, I said Carson Wentz is a 50-50 player. We don't need him to go out there and go gusto, bullseye, bulls devil, all these things. We just need him to go out there, manage the clock, and play a successful football game. And that's what he did because his stats is not eye pop. It's like he made some big plays with the runs and everything, but he did what he had to do. And that's all we need coming out of a quarterback. The last time we played the Bills, we had Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers could not do some of the things Carson Wentz did today, even though Phillip Rivers played a decent football game in the playoffs. But you can pretty much see the difference, even with this Bills team who's way better than last year, in my opinion, personally. The Colts just play better football. Simple as that. Of course, I did also state in the preview with the weather conditions, this is going to go into the Colts' favor. Simple as that. We are pretty good when it comes to crazy weather. When we played the 49ers and it was raining, we balled out. When we played the Bills yesterday, we balled out with the weather permitting. Even before the weather got crazy, we still were playing good football, and it was just an extra bonus. What is your thoughts about anything I just said so far?
Absolutely. This team is built to win some dirty football games. I mean, and this is January football type conditions that we're going to be facing. If the rain keeps up in various different games, snow is going to be coming down, and the Colts are built to win those types of games with Jonathan Taylor running the ball, with Naeem Hines kind of spilling him a little bit, with Marlon Mack getting some touches eventually. This is a very, very physical Colts team, and we can absolutely beat up on some really great teams, as we just saw, because this was, like you said, the number 1 defense heading into this game in terms of scoring, in terms of yards. They were the number 3 overall rush defense in terms of yards per carry, and number 8 in scoring defense against the run. And we dominated them. Like, it was not even a competition for a good portion of the game. It was just absolutely hammering them with the run. Jonathan Taylor has made a statement for the NFL to know, and that he is the best NFL running back in the league right now. And that includes Derrick Henry. All right, Derrick Henry, phenomenal running back. One of the best, most dominant running backs we have seen in a long time. But this year, he has been very inefficient when he was healthy. But Jonathan Taylor, he still has not gotten to Derrick Henry's total carries. Like 3 games past, he still isn't there. And he has 185 more rushing yards and is a better receiver. He's better after contact. He's more efficient of a runner in terms of his north and south. He's not wasting much movement. He's better at breaking tackles. And he is just one of the most well-rounded and consistent running backs in the NFL. It is phenomenal to see. He is only 23 right now. He hasn't even reached his peak. So this is going to be a very, very fun to watch Colts team. I'm really excited to see how Jonathan Taylor gets even better than this.
Yeah, man, I agree, man. Straight out dog. Like I said, this is no knock on Derrick Henry. I think every NFL fan knows how much of a dog Derrick Henry is. Even Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb is a dog as well, but I just think Jonathan Taylor is just that it factor. The big runs for like 60-plus yards he had consecutive. The cutback that he does, the counter plays, he shows that Marlon Mack tendency that he used to do when he was healthy. But like he just has the total package right now. He's just a flat out dog. Looking at the receiving core, Jack Doyle was very reliable. He surprised me today. T.Y. Hilton had some catches. Michael Pittman Jr. had some catches. And it was just sharing the wealth in general. When the offense was clicking, we were sharing the wealth. Nobody had about 10 catches for 100 receiving yards. Everybody was pretty much distributing evenly. The only person I didn't really see go involved was Zach Pascal in the receiving game because when he had his chance, he couldn't get it. We seen Patman in the game. He couldn't get involved. Granson got involved today. But the one thing you could take away, the big three, Michael Pittman Jr., T.Y., and Doyle, very reliable receivers and targets. They all had over 10 yards average when they caught the football. And that is huge when you play top defenses like this, when you can get them involved without throwing it all the way down the field. Just get them involved in these small routes and draw up a nice little scheme. The receiving core, I think, in general, did a pretty decent game. Averaged in total for the receiving team for the Colts was over 100 yards receiving. That's not that bad when you have a running back rushing for over 100 yards as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This was a very low volume passing attack. I mean, only 20 attempts total, only 11 of them were completed. So you're not going to be seeing a whole dominant game normally from a passing game with that kind of volume. But even still, it was it was a lot of spreading the ball around. You know, no one was absolutely going ham, but everyone was kind of getting their share a little bit, spreading the wealth. It wasn't a crazy great game, but we've seen this passing attack take off as well in games and take over some games. So I'm not too worried on that front, of course. This just wasn't the game plan that we really needed for them, you know? Though next week, though we'll get into that later, next week I could see this passing attack getting a lot more involved against the Buccaneers, but ultimately this game was a pretty ho-hum week for the passing attack. And hey, just run the damn ball with Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, man, 100%. Now to the nitty gritty. One of the biggest pieces of this victory was the Colts defense. It shocked the world. It had to be the world because it definitely shocked me, and I know it shocked you. The Colts defense was on fire from the first half into the second half. We've never seen this Colts defense play all 4 quarters locked in like they were. Now, of course, they gave us some plays, but we knew it was coming. Sendejo penalties, we knew that was coming. Stephon Diggs scoring in the end zone, we knew that was coming. Because, in my opinion, like I said when the game was going on, Diggs is going to score if he gets in the red zone. But I am more confident in Rocky Sin covering him when he has more field to cover. When he gets to the red zone, it's tough because of Diggs' route running ability is just impeccable. It's just really good. But like I said, when it comes down to that, and another thing I can take away from this, Kenny Moore's interception was pretty acrobatic. He was athletic. But Xavier Rhodes could have had that pick if he could have had that pick, even though he was struggling as well. But he could have had a pick that game. That's all I'm saying. Shout out to George Odom, a person who was adamant about playing safety more before the season started. You go look at his tweets when the season started. I made a video about it as well, that he wanted to play safety, and now he's getting that chance. He's showing you that he can play this. He's went up against one of the best teams in the NFL and got him a pick. Ball hawking Josh Allen. Josh Allen continues to struggle. That's the argument for Bills Mafia to go ahead and discuss. But Bobby Okereke led the team in tackles. Darius Leonard was struggling a little bit with that injury, but he, glad he wasn't a huge part of us not, like selling the game. But, I mean, he was out there. He did what he had to do. Isaiah Rodgers was playing decent. Special teams was playing phenomenal. Kwity Paye was out there being a beast. Man, you can go ahead and take away. Give us your final thoughts about one of the biggest pieces of this game, the defense.
Well, one of the big keys for the defense throughout the season has been getting some turnovers, getting the ball out of the offense's hands. We led the league heading into this game, and we kept our lead after this game, despite the Bills are one of the best teams at not giving the ball away. We still took it from them 2 times from some amazing interceptions. George Odom jumping a route and getting a very impressive first interception. And then on top of that, we had that Kenny Moore interception, which was the second best interception of Kenny Moore's career. And that's not a dig at Kenny Moore. That's just because he had that one insane one against the Raiders last year that tops it just a little bit. But, Kenny Moore is still a damn bad man. He is phenomenal, one of the best corners in the game. I am excited as always to talk about Kenny Moore, but I don't know. Maybe he might want to go to Team USA for volleyball. I mean, he's getting that set right there. Just a wonderful tip ball to himself. Very, very impressive by him. We also got a special teams turnover, which was an unforced error by Isaiah McKenzie, fumbling from tripping because of the wet conditions. But hey, we still pounced on the ball, returned it almost all the way to the house, and got the Colts offense in a position to score. So we got some pretty damn good turnovers from this team. And also, beyond just the turnovers, we held one of the best quarterbacks in the game, an MVP caliber quarterback, Josh Allen, to 15 points on his offense. That is insane. All right.
Yeah.
And we've had talk about our defense for a long time now of how it's a little bit overrated. It's a little bit fluky at times because of the reliance on the turnovers, but they shut him down. They got some pretty damn good pressure at times. The coverage was very disciplined. The weather conditions did help. It did help, no doubt about it. And it also hurt us on the passing game too. But we did what we had to do to keep him out of the game. And it was an absolutely phenomenal job by the defense. Hats off to them. Eberflus had a really strong game this game, calling the plays. A lot of disguised coverages that were confusing him at the post snap. I really, really was impressed by this defense. Congratulations, guys. Now let's do it again against Tom Brady.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's definitely a AFC team we're playing against. Even though they're in NFC, but they play like an AFC team. But it is what it is. And before we get out of here, let us know where they can find you.
All right, guys. You can find me at Robbins Lucas on Twitter. You can also find me at thebluestable.com as the lead writer for it. So give us a look there. We have some amazing content coming out right now. And it has been a wonderful season to just talk about Colts, baby.
That's it, man. And also in the statements, shout out to Zaire Franklin. He had an interview on the Colts YouTube channel talking about the game before it started. And he wound up getting a pick today, picking off Josh Allen. Huge play. He's a dog still, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to this guy here, Lucas. Appreciate you for joining the show. Go ahead and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. All these things. Colts victory, huge victory. Let me know who you guys think was a stud besides Jonathan Taylor. And until next time, you've been Culture Shock. Peace.